We are at the point where even Ubisoft themselves understand that Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably going to completely destroy their company to the point beyond repair. Which is great for gamers because they deserve the worst.
So I was browsing the internet after dinner today when I stumbled upon this article, which is one of the funniest things I've seen recently. It's titled, Ubisoft Executive Says Assassin's Creed Shadows Devs Think It's the Worst Thing They've Ever Seen. This is a quote from Mark Alexis Cote.
That is hilarious, by the way.
Ubisoft's vice president executive of the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. He's been a part of Ubisoft for 19 years in a variety of roles ranging from engineering to creative direction and now leadership. In this video, we're going to dive into exactly what he
I have suspicion he was really bad at absolutely all of those things. What a great guy.
said and what it means for the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows.
This is my favorite part of the gameplay that we have seen from Assassin's Creed Shadows. The moment the Black God of Japan takes off his horse, how people instantaneously bow to him, otherwise their skulls will be very honorably crushed. Beautiful.
Release. So without further ado, let's buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and dive into the video. The full quote comes from a keynote speech that Cote gave at XDS24, aka the External Development Summit, held in Vancouver back in September of this year. Let's take
Vancouver's not even a real place, it's a hellhole.
Take a look at what he said.
A game is shit until it's good. One of the things that I've noticed since
We are Ubisoft. The game is shit until it becomes shit and then shittier. And then we are happy with our decision making because we know we have disappointed everyone.
the pandemic is that we have a lot of juniors in our teams, and I don't know if this is something that's your case as well, but the seniority has lowered globally, and probably half the team that's building an Assassin's Creed.
That doesn't make sense unless you're telling me all the previous generations of game developers just died and no one replaced them, which seems really strange.
Is building a game for the first time, so they don't.
So they decide to make it as fucking woke as possible, ruin the history and culture of Japan, and insert the Black Samurai where he should have been nothing but, effectively, that Yasuke was effectively just entertainment slave for Nobunaga. It is what it is. Again, it's just literal historic fact.
They don't know. So you have to explain to them that even though they're playing the game right now and they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen, it's going to be good. Okay, we're going to.
His dead beetle eyes. That's crazy. Okay, Jesus. Look at this. This shit just is gonna haunt my nightmares. Oh boy. Like, what the hell? Actually, you know what? That's a perfect thumbnail. Let me just save that real quick. This one's a beauty, boys, okay? This one's a beauty. This one is unparalleled perfection, okay? Let me just save that.
We're gonna get there and explain that I've been there as a leader. I remember my first time on Assassin's Creed. Like it was
He also remembers the first time his wife pegged him.
July, and the game was shipping in October. And I was like, "There's no way this thing ends up shipping." And 91 Metacritic. Oh, okay, this is good.
So there is a lot to unpack here, but I think to steelman his explanation here and
oh yeah, Metacritic matters a lot.
get at the root of what he's trying to say is that during game development, the game will be in a pretty rough shape for most of the dev cycle until the game gets polished and comes together fully near the end of production. Cote explains that since a lot of the developers working on AC Shadows haven't been through a full development cycle before, and they see the rough shape the game is in currently, they don't have that confidence or perspective that the game is going to come together in the end. But you know what would definitely boost their confidence, as well as yours? Subscribing to Big Dan Gaming. You can help a brother out by clicking on that subscribe button right now, and in return, I'll hit you with the hottest RPG and gaming commentary content this side.
Hit me with that load, daddy.
of the Mississippi. But
no.
anyhow, there is one aspect of this talk that I think is a major red flag. He said that roughly half of the
By the way, I fucking love how physics just don't work like this.
talk that I think
I just love how nothing works like this.
is a major red flag. He said that roughly half of the team
Listen, I'm not saying women should not be in charge of the physics, but women should definitely not even come fucking close to the physics engine, okay? Kathleen Kennedy and Roaring Fires in Space, and then Burning Stone, agree with me.
Currently working on Assassin's Creed Shadows are junior developers, many of whom have never worked on a game before, much less an Assassin's Creed game.
And probably half the team that's building.
By the way, am I the only one looking at this gameplay and thinking, holy shit, this is the least stealthiest thing that I have seen in my entire life, okay? Like, you're doing giant swings over things where literally probably 10 people can see it. You're right in front of a guy and you're just, aha, ninja over the wall, grappling hook, go. What the hell is this?
Assassin's Creed game.
And probably half the team that's building an Assassin's Creed is building a game for the first time.
That's kind of concerning. Assassin's Creed is Ubisoft's flagship franchise, so the fact that a lot of the people working on the upcoming entry
It's only fitting that their flagship franchise is their final nail in the coffin.
are totally inexperienced is a huge red flag. Imagine you're going to the dentist to get a root canal, and right before the dude hits you with the Novocaine, he leans in and says, "This is my first time doing this." Are you going to feel more confident or less confident in what's about to happen? I know I'd be getting out of that chair and looking for another dentist because I don't want to be the guinea pig. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to cost $70, and by the VP of the entire Assassin's Creed
Technically, probably 120 because we know how Ubisoft sells shit.
franchise's own words, half of the people working on the game have never made a game before. That's crazy. You would think with their biggest and most successful
You know what's my favorite part? Whenever someone gets strangled to death, that they don't try to yell. It's just great.
franchise, they would want to be all hands on deck with their most experienced developers and talent, but hey, maybe they laid all of those people off and replaced them with junior devs that have lower salaries so they can cut costs. Or maybe their more experienced devs just left Ubisoft
Ah, this one.
for greener pastures.
Boom. Why? Why is there a hole like that there? This shit doesn't work like that.
Elsewhere. Either way, this is pretty wild. There's also just something so funny about the way he worded this whole thing, describing AC Shadows as, quote-unquote, the worst thing I've ever seen, according to his team. And look at his face. Bro looks like he speed ran the 5 stages of grief and just went straight to acceptance.
Bro looks like he fucking took not a line of cocaine, but the whole goddamn fucking factory line.
Like, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. He knows he's on a sinking ship. Maybe he's planning to leave Ubisoft and start his own game studio like Casey Hudson did after leaving EA and BioWare. He also said that a game is shit until it's good, but
Dude, the animation clipping here is insane.
studio like
Look at
Casey
this.
Hudson did after leaving EA.
Like, what is this? This reminds me literally of Legacy of Kain. The animation fluidity is 20 years old at this point. What the fuck?
And BioWare. He also said that a game is shit until it's
Look, you can literally see it.
good, but lately Ubisoft's motto has just been,
Yo.
a game is shit, so we ship. Bro, at this point, I'm so excited to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. I need to see it for myself, because this game is either going to be totally mid, or it's going to be a complete dumpster fire. And either way, I think it's going to be hilarious and entertaining to follow. I think Star Wars Outlaws was a big wake-up call for Ubisoft. They can't
I don't think at all. Also, guess what's gonna happen here?
just rest on their laurels or
Oh, it stopped?
franchise name recognition alone and expect to sell units. According to Forbes, Outlaws barely sold 1 million copies, which I think is an indicator of how far both Ubisoft's brand and the
Well, gee, I wonder why.
Star Wars brand have fallen off in recent years. Previously, I thought that Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows would do well financially
Nice.
despite all the controversies, but now
No, well, admittedly, I also thought that honestly, Star Wars Outlaws is gonna do better than a fucking million copies sold. It's a Star Wars franchise, but if even Star Wars Outlaws failed this unbelievably hard, oh, dude, listen, Assassin's Creed Shadows is not gonna even sell a million copies. I'm fucking calling it right now. That shit ain't even gonna sell a million copies because it doesn't matter how long they wait to get everyone to cool down and all of this useless garbage ideas. It's not gonna happen. People are gonna remember. People will remember that it doesn't matter when they release it, and they're looking into Pride Month. Isn't every fucking month Pride Month in America? I mean, Black History Month. Isn't every month Black History Month in America at this point? Jesus Christ.
Now I'm not so sure. Gamers are voting with their wallets, and it turns out that these big AAA companies
Yeah, I mean, literally. We talked about this yesterday about a game that I was actually looking forward to. A game I haven't seen any woke tangents about or anything like that, and I'm not buying it. I am not buying it unless it turns out to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece because it fucking costs $70. 70. I'm not gonna dish out that much money for something that seems like a failure or potentially not good enough. Okay? And the fact that that's not even a AAA studio putting it out for 70 buckaroos, bro, Assassin's Creed Shadows better cost a $5 and come with a goddamn Happy Meal. Otherwise, I ain't even looking in that direction. Okay? After all these failures, the reality is, I honestly think that gamers are just not gonna buy the games, and even when they think about buying the games, it's like, oh, $60, $70 for this? I'll get it for 30, maybe next year, when the studio already collapses.
companies are not too big to fail after all. One big shift we've seen since the failure of Outlaws and the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows is that Ubisoft has abandoned its anti-consumer pricing models. Previously, you could get early access and a season pass for the $90 or $130 editions of the game. Additionally, PC players could not buy the game on Steam at launch. But since then, Ubisoft has done away with the early access component, giving all players access to the game at the same time, regardless of the edition. And the game will launch on Steam day one as well.
I love the collision physics.
They also refunded all pre-orders and made it so that future pre-orders will receive the first AC Shadows expansion for free. This proves if customers reject these kinds of business models en masse, then companies have to adapt to stay competitive and profitable. Assassin's Creed Shadows was originally set...
Dude, looking at this gameplay, it's just such a giant no, isn't it? It just doesn't seem good, and you haven't seen the fucking immortal brush shit even. Oh my lord, this is just sad. In any case, Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably the end for Ubisoft. The shareholders want the company to take it private, which means Ubisoft has to buy back shares and actually waste money on literally fucking nothing. And yeah, that's kind of it. It's pretty GG here. Anyway, that was our boy, Big Dan Gaming. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.